The next thing we'll do is take foundation, and my color happens to be MAC in W45. This is the Studio Fix Fluid. You can see that. Studio Fix Fluid. And I actually bought the pump. If you buy it, it comes with a top like this, but I would suggest to invest in the pump because you actually use less product and you waste less. So this is $26.50 a bottle, so you definitely want to make sure that you get the pump. Alright, so we'll take a little, I'll pump a little on my hand, and we will do the next step. Now I'm actually going to use a separate mirror because I need to kind of see up close. So hopefully you guys will be able to see as well. What I'm going to do is take this this foundation, and I'm going to go underneath here to create a clean line on both sides. And this will help to clean up the shape as well. So if you didn't get the shape quite right the first time, this will kind of help to do that. So this is something that you definitely want to take your time with. It may take practice and be very careful with to ensure you get the right shape. Alright, so I'm going to dip my brush into that foundation and again outline, and I'm holding a separate mirror so that I can see up close, and hopefully, like I said, you guys can see. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to go underneath and outline. And basically create the shape that I want on both eyes. Like so. Can you see that? So I'm outlining the eye with this brush. The brow, I should say, not the eye. Creating the shape. And then I'll do the same thing for the other eye. Being careful not to go too deep in. Because I want the shape to match. Obviously, they don't have to necessarily be twins, but they should definitely be sisters. Like so. And basically what this does is it provides a clean line for your brow. It looks like it was freshly arched. Like so. Make sure you keep your lines straight. Like this one, I went up a little too far, but no worries because again we can go back in and correct it with the foundation. Like so. And just pull that color down as you do it. And these may take you a long time or may take you a short amount of time. I think it just depends on how anal you are about it. I tend to be probably more anal than most people about them because I don't have brows. So it's one of those things I do spend a little more time on. Alright, so the next thing we'll do is the exact same thing, except we'll do it on the top of the brow. And again, I'm going to take my mirror so that I can look close and hopefully you guys can see. So basically I'm going to go on top and pull that color up like so. and come around. And that's why it's important to have a small angled brush when you do it. It doesn't have to be an expensive brush, just as long as it's small and kind of has an angle to it. And then I'm just going to go back in and clean it up and get it as neat as I can. I tend to like a thinner line coming around on the sides. Like so. And then we'll do the same thing for the other eye. Go on top. Come around. Like so. Make sure you pull the color up. And just keep going around it until you get the desired shape. And sometimes you may have to go back in and add more pencil to, again, get the shape that you want. And all I'm doing is just coming around, blending them down, making them to the desired shape. And as I mentioned earlier, this may take you a couple tries to get it right. But no worries. Practice makes perfect, right? Alright. So, as you can see, I'm slowly getting there. See if I can zoom in for you guys so you can see it better. Slowly I'm getting the shape that I want. Alright, so this one is a little bit bigger, or wider I should say. So I don't have anything on the brush, but I'm just kind of using the brush as an eraser at this point to try and get the brows even, the shapes even. And as I mentioned, they don't necessarily have to be twins, but they should look similar. And as I mentioned too earlier, just make sure that your point hits at the end of your nose. And the more you do this, the more you'll kind of be able to eye it and know exactly where your points should hit. Just like anything else, you keep practicing. It becomes like second nature. And it may not take you as long depending on how much hair you have or how, much pencil you need to add. For me, it takes a little bit longer just because I don't have a lot of hair there, and I'm totally trying to create a totally different shape. So again, make sure each time you do something, you keep the bridge clear, because that will be important later on as we start adding other makeup. So what I'm going to do is go back in and fill in this brown, because this one seems to be a little bit more thicker. So I'll go back in, come around, just bring that down. Just so again that they're even. I feel like even when I'm doing makeup on my clients, this part tends to take a little bit longer. The eye piece. Everything else is a little bit faster than this. And again, all I'm doing is blending it down, kind of using the brush as an eraser, like so, to get the shape that I want. Alright, so from what I can see, pretty much gotten the shape. The next thing we'll do is I'm going to take this brush, and if you have a spoolie brush, this works much easier and much better, but you can use the back of your brush. I'm going to take it here and just blend it over a little to kind of fade out that harsh edge to fool people like my brow maybe really did grow. This perfect. And just kind of brush through your new shape. Just be careful that you don't brush outside of the line, if you will. Meaning stay in here when you brush, don't brush anywhere else. Just kind of bring that color back through. And again, remember to keep the bridge clean. Your brow should start at the bridge of your nose and end at the end of your eye, like so. The point should be there and there, like so. Alright, so the next thing that we'll do is I'm going to take a little bit more of that foundation. I'm just going to put it on my lid and smooth it in so that you can see, so that we can even the color on our lids. So if you have discolored lids or they're darker, this will help to even the tone of your lids with the rest of your face when you add your foundation. So make sure you do that. The last part that we're going to do for the eyebrow piece of this is we're going to add a little bit of concealer. Now, as I mentioned, my foundation color is in W45, Studio Fix Fluid. And my concealer color, because I like to highlight, is not in W45, it's in W35. It's a little bit lighter. It's the Studio Sculpt foundation. So it comes in this little black. And my color is in W35, the one that I tend to use, which is a little bit lighter than the actual foundation because, again, I like to highlight under my eyes, especially when I wear dark makeup. Alright, this is our second chance to kind of clean up any mistakes that we may have made in our brows. So we're going to just dip in here a little bit with a synthetic brush. And forgive me, I'm not one of those artists that know these brush numbers by heart, so I've had my brushes so long they fade, but some of them I know, some of them I don't. This is a synthetic brush. Doesn't have to be a MAC brush. You can use any brush that's synthetic. And we're going to actually go back into the brow to create what looks like a clean waxed highlight. So I'm going to look into the mirror here because I need to look up close. And basically we're just going right into the height, the highest point of the brow, like right in here. And we're just blending a little bit of that concealer in. And again, this fools people into thinking we have perfect brows. Like so. I'm just going to bring it down. Like so. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's a little bit lighter. Make sure that you brush this in like even strokes. You don't want it to be clumpy. The goal of this is for it to be smooth and seamless. I'm sorry, I'm holding the mirror in front of my eye. I'm so used to doing this at home. The mirror, not in front of an audience. Alright, can you see that? And you can take the back of your brush and just kind of smooth it in like so, because it should be smooth. It should look smooth and not like you have anything on there necessarily. Like so. We'll do the same thing for the other eye. Go back in here, and I'll try not to put the mirror in front of the camera this time. And just kind of, again, go into the height of the brow, the highest point. And be careful, because this can definitely change the shape of your brow if you go in too deep. So again, going in like so. And then we're just kind of brushing that color down as well too. And if you like, you can start in the inner. It doesn't really matter. If a piece of that needs to be corrected, no worries. Just make sure you brush the color all the way through. And make sure you do it on both eyes. And again, you can take the back of your brush and smooth that color through. Like so. So it looks seamless. Brush out any harsh lines. Like so. And if you need more, you can definitely go back in and add more. Like so. Again, just be careful not to change the shape of your eye. Like so. As you can see. See if I can zoom in for you guys so you can see. Smooth. All right.